And now for the answers to last week's quiz, quiz number 7. Here's our first tree. I'm here with American sweet gum, Liquidambar styrosiflua, a tree that is native all across the southeastern U.S. and is commonly planted in the entire eastern U.S. This is a very common street and park tree, and it can be readily identified by its bark, which forms vertical, blocky, light gray ridges. The sides of these vertical ridges tend to come in and out. They are not perfectly parallel or vertical, and neither are the ridges. The ridges are a little bit cross-hatching, and the sides of the ridges broaden and narrow randomly. This makes the ridges of this bark a little more irregular than the ridges of, say, white oak Quercus alba, who has completely vertical ridges with completely parallel sides. Here's our next tree. I'm here with a tree that, like many other trees we've covered, has interlocking ridges and furrows. This tree has parallel ridges that are relatively spongy in texture, and they're built up away from the tree almost like wafers. You can see the layers as they come away from the tree. These layers alternate in colors of brown and white, and this is a very key distinction from the other members of this genus. Because these ridges are comprised of alternating layers of brown and white, as they wear away, you will see both brown and white represented in the color of the bark, in addition to different hues of green. This warty, spongy textured, ridged and furrowed bark comprised of alternating layers of brown and white with green hues mixed in is American elm, Ulmus americana. If this were slippery elm, there would not be alternating layers of brown and white, there would only be brown. Here's our next tree. This tree is the poster child of cross-hatching, interlacing ridges and furrows. This is white ash, Fraxinus americana. Along with tulip tree, I can think of no more quintessential tree to exhibit that accordion-like opening of bark. In youth, the ridged and furrowed texture is often relatively fine, developing moderate to coarse texture with age. This, I would say, is right on the cusp of coarse and moderate. Ash bark can vary quite a bit between blockier, chunkier bark and finer textured, linear cross-hatching bark. This particular specimen is kind of right in the middle, not serving as a perfect example of either, but rather as an example of the average between the two extremes. It's important to be aware of both. To be honest, I often struggle to tell white ash, Fraxinus americana, from its close relative, Fraxinus pennsylvanica, red or green ash. These two trees have very similar bark, but their bark is very dissimilar from the third common native ash in my state, which is Fraxinus nigra, black ash. Ash trees are a really wonderful group of trees, and this bark is one of the main ways a lot of people first start to get to know them.